Everybody, how are you? This is a very special breaking news just across the wire. I am Brent, Reid, the Notorious sports critic, here to tell you right now, in the NBA, it just happened. 7-time NBA All-Star Dame Lillard has been traded. He has, ladies and gentlemen, been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks of all teams. Dame Lillard, once again, has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. This trade is a 3-team deal. It basically, Dame Lillard will go to the Bucks from Portland. They will swap draft picks in the future. Also, Portland can get an unprotected pick in the future. But who else was involved in this? Well, the Phoenix Suns were also involved. The Phoenix Suns will get Grayson Allen and a few other players. Portland will get Drew Holiday and Andre Ayton. That's right, DeAndre Ayton has finally been traded from the Phoenix Suns to now the Portland Trailblazers. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the Portland Trailblazers have traded Dame Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. Why is this important? Because this past offseason, it was announced, it was said, it was talked about that Dame Lillard no longer wanted to play in Portland anymore. Dame Lillard, who has spent 11 years in Portland, has taken him to countless playoff appearances, playoff appearance after playoff appearance after playoff appearance, and never got a chance to play with another top-tier megastar. Dame Lillard, without any question, is that. He fits the bill. Dame Lillard falls under that discussion of being a top-tier athlete, the 1% on a franchise player, if you will. The closest he came is when it was C.J. McCullough, who's now with the New Orleans Pelicans. That's the closest he had to having another teammate, but never had Dame Lillard got a chance to play with a player at his caliber on his level. Dame Lillard, this past 2 seasons, was the first time in his career he didn't make the playoffs. He went on an 8-year run with Portland making the playoffs. In the last 2 seasons, they missed the postseason. But now he is going to Milwaukee, a team that just won a championship not that many years ago, a team he's playing with a MVP in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if you ask me, this is an upgrade for the Bucks, but is it an upgrade at a cost? So before everybody starts to cheer, before everybody starts to get ready to think that NBA countdown is going to be in Milwaukee for the championship this year, let's hold our horses here. Dame Lillard is a player who has had injuries. He's going with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who just lost in the first round to the Miami Heat because Giannis has been injury prone. Dame Lillard, 33 years old, put a lot of wear and tear in that body, carrying Portland for so many years. And before I got on the air, before I did my research, I took a look and I'm listening, and people are comparing this to Kobe and Shaq. The comparison is not there. Kobe and Shaq both were younger. Both were just going into the primes of their career. I don't know if you could say Dame Lillard is in the prime of his career. The comparison to me would be more like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then Lou Alcindor teaming up with an older Oscar Robertson. I can see that comparison. Maybe Shaq and Dwayne Wade in Miami. Maybe that comparison. But the comparison of Kobe and Shaq, that's a little far-fetched. We still have to see them play together. The good thing is Milwaukee got to keep Chris Middleton. That is huge. Chris Middleton has been the number 2 to Giannis for the last few seasons. He was one of the key cogs and the reasons why the team won a championship. But now you've upgraded clearly at the point guard position. You've upgraded clearly at the superstar position on paper. The $1 million question is, Dame Lillard, a player who has averaged 32 points in his career, has always had the ball in his hand in Portland. In Portland, he has always been in control. In Portland, he has always been the one to dominate the back page, dominate the bot. Can he now come to Milwaukee and play second fiddle, and maybe in some cases third fiddle, to Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo? We'll see how this will mesh. We'll see how this will play out. We'll see how this goes. But we wouldn't be a sports show if we didn't start to fantasize the possibilities and what this means to the NBA as a landscape, but the NBA East altogether. Now, before all of you start going, well, we thought Boston had a chance. Let's be real. Last season, Boston wasn't the best team in the East. It was Milwaukee. Milwaukee was the number 1 seed in the East, and they were hurt most of the year. Not to mention, they didn't have Damian Lillard. Now, they don't have the head coach they had last year. They did let the head coach go because they lost in the first round. It just happens. But we're going to see now with this Milwaukee team that didn't, in my opinion, give up much. Drew Holiday, I know some of you are like, well, it's Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is not Dame Lillard. Drew Holiday is a good point guard, but he's not going to, trust me, the people in Portland are like, yo, you know who we got back in return? Don't foresee that happening. So you're upgrading the point guard position. Milwaukee will continue to probably be the team of the East. What I've noticed about Dame in his career, he is not a player that is ego-driven. I don't think there's going to be a Brooklyn Nets situation or Philadelphia 76ers where you have these big 1% top egos, these box office, these Showtime-like players teaming up together, and there's going to be issues. Don't foresee that happening in Milwaukee. What I see happen is Giannis Antetokounmpo now having somebody that he can rely on to score. Dame Lillard last season, he would average, let's get there, please. He averaged 32 points a game. The numbers I wrote down, was that his career stats? No, that wasn't his career stats. That was his last year's stats. Excuse me. He is a 25-point scorer. That is his career stats. I apologize. But last year, he put up 32. And that was a 32 on a team he was willing to the playoffs. You ask Giannis now, hey, you got another bona fide scorer. Hey, you have Chris Middleton who can get buckets also. Giannis doesn't have to put up the numbers he was. He can be that fine tool play. He can be, in all honesty, the best way to compare him to anybody of a modern era, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett could have scored with the best of them. But remember when KG got to Boston, he scored, but he turned more into a defensive-minded player. He turned more into a leader on the defensive end. He could give you buckets, but now we're going to see Giannis not have to stretch himself so thin, and we're going to see him now play once again with a player of his caliber. Yes, an older player, but a player nevertheless of his caliber. It's funny that this would happen. You got to give the ownership, the general managers, the executives in Milwaukee tons of credit, because there were rumors brewing that Giannis wanted out of Milwaukee if they didn't put together something. And this just goes to show you this ownership, the ownership, the executives, they believe in Giannis. They believe in what they have. And by going out and getting a Dame Lillard, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, at least now Giannis has more hope. He has more firepower, because if you go back and look at that Miami series, that's what something they were missing, is that guy who could get his own shot. Nobody's going to think that Dame Lillard can't get his own shot. And let's just be real. And now Dame Lillard comes out of that Pacific Division where you had Golden State, you had the Lakers, you had the Clippers, you have the Kings. That division is riddled with point guards. You bring them to a Central Division that, has the Cavaliers, but the Pistons aren't there yet. The Bulls, who knows what's happening with the Chicago Bulls. Milwaukee's going to run that division. And then you look at the rest of the East in the landscape. He has clearly, right now, you take him and Trae Young as the two best point guards in the East right now. It's not James Harden. Like, James Harden may never play. So you put those, so who does Dame Lillard have to really battle with on a night-to-night basis? Because, you're not really going to see the Detroit. Like I said, if you look at the Central's broken up as the Bulls, the Cavaliers, the Pistons, the Pacers, and then it's the Bucks. Bulls is just in a disarray. The Cavs is going to be good. They're going to be even better than they were last year. It's going to be a full year together with them and Devin Mitchell. We're going to see that team play at a different level. The Pistons is still trying to find their identity. They're hoping Cunningham is the point guard that they drafted at the top spot. And the Pacers, they'll be competitive, but it's not 1995. This is Milwaukee's. If you look at the landscape of the East in total, Boston's going to be competitive, but I really don't have faith in that team. The Nets is on the rebuild. The Knicks now, we're probably hoping for Giannis, but that ain't going to happen. The 76ers is in chaos. The word chaos is going to get thrown around here a lot. Toronto's always kind of competitive. I think Milwaukee has the old Toronto head coach, if I'm not mistaken, a guy who knows how to play with two superstars. We're going to touch on that in a second. What was his name? I'm going to look it up in a minute. The Atlanta Hawks, they kind of always are around there, a little brother that likes to poke and prod. The Charlotte Hornets, Miami may be competitive. The Magic, and if you sum up the East in general, the East is a rebuild, complete rebuild. That's it. That's how I would sum up the East. The East is going to have a couple competitive teams here, but it's Milwaukee's to lose. If Milwaukee goes into this season and they fart around, they will find themselves, on the outside looking in again. But right now, based on how the East looks and where the East stands, we could see Milwaukee come out of the East easily. No, they didn't hire him. They hired Andre Griffin. What the heck is that? Adrian Griffin. Don't know who he is. They have a whole welcome page. He did something with his career. Don't know who he is. He's the 17th head coach. Either way, we wish that brother the best of luck. So, right now, breaking news, once again, the Milwaukee Bucks traded for Damian Lillard, who's leaving the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers will get Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton. Let's just sum up this whole thing. Let's wrap this up with a bow. You look at this season coming up, okay? You look at this season. The Golden State Warriors made a splash. They went and got Chris Paul, an older player. They sent Jordan Poole to Washington for him just to be forgotten about. The Phoenix Suns now are completely guard. Like, that team has no size anymore. The Phoenix Suns lost their size. Ayton wasn't the most physically imposing player to begin with, but now you look at how this team breaks down. They added Grayson Allen, who's a great shooter, but the big trade that they did was go for Bradley Beal. You got Bradley Beal, Devin Booker on the same team, and Kevin Durant, who I forgot was there. But I don't foresee Phoenix without any true front court presence making a run, because you still need size to win in the NBA. You still need somebody to rebound. You still need somebody to get, clean the glass as much as they try to go small. That's just not going to happen. You have the Lakers, who, if Anthony Davis is healthy and LeBron played like he did last season, the team's going to be better, but they still have to beat the champions, Denver Nuggets, who haven't gotten worse, who are just as good as they were last season. The wild card in this whole thing are the Clippers going to be better, but I never put any faith in the Clippers. The Kings took a step forward, but they're still not ready for a championship. The Thunder aren't there. The Timberwolves aren't there. Dallas isn't there. So we could be looking at a finals between the Denver Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks. In all seriousness, that's what we're looking at. I don't discredit or count out Golden State, but this season, pencil it in. Nuggets, Bucks, I'm stamping it here. September 27th. I'm calling it right here. So once again, this has been a Downright Sports breaking news. Damian Lillard, Dame time is going to Milwaukee. That's right. He's teaming up with Giannis. You can check out Downright Sports on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Follow me on X at Brent Reid 18. Download the DJ Chase Radio app and go to djchaseradio.com. I will talk to you. Download the podcast at Apple, Spotify, and anywhere major podcasts can be downloaded. As always, we talk to you guys. Deuces.